Today's podcast looks at the ballad The Three Butchers. I'll look at its background and printing history, sing samples of the different versions, and end on a full performance. It's of three jolly butchers, as I have heard them say, who started out from London upon a certain day. As they were riding along the road as fast as they could ride, "Oh, stop your horse," says Johnson, I heard a woman cry. "I will not stop," says Wilson, "I will not stop," says he. "I will not stop," says Gibson, "for robbed we shall be." Then Johnson he got off his horse and searched the woods around. He found a naked woman with a hairpin to the ground. "How came ye here?" says Johnson, "how came ye here fast bound? How came ye here stark naked with your hairpin to the ground?" "They whipped me, they stripped me, my legs and arms they bound. They left me here stark naked with my hairpin to the ground." Then Johnson, being a valiant man, a man of courage bold, he wrapped his coat around her to keep her from the cold. And as they were riding along as fast as they could ride, she put her fingers to her lips and gave three dreadful cries. Then up stepped three swaggering blades with staffs all in their hand, a-riding up to Johnson, bidding him to stand. I'll stand," says Johnson, I'll stand," says he. "Never was I in all my life afraid of any three." The tune was collected in September 1913 by Ralph Vaughan Williams from Mr. Loveridge of Ashburton in Herefordshire. The three butchers are riding to market when they hear a woman calling out. They find her naked and tied down. They free her, but she's a member of the band of robbers, and either calls or blows a whistle to summon the robbers. The butchers fight the robbers, killing a large number. The woman is on the back of Johnson's horse, and she stabs him in the back. This ballad can be traced back to around 1678, when it was printed in a broadside named The Three Worthy Butchers of the North, which tells us that it was written by someone named Paul Burgess. This was reprinted in the Roxburgh Ballad collection in the middle of the 1800s. The setting for this early ballad is Norfolk, and it ends with the remaining robbers making their escape on a boat sailing out of Yarmouth. It's quite possible that the ballad was based on a true incident, but there's no definite evidence to support this. The ballad had several rewrites and broadside printings, which reduced the wordage. It had a wide printing distribution, and the locations changed to serve the local performances. Some of the versions had a chorus, although this was sometimes discarded to make the narrative flow. The chorus tended to slow down the song without adding to the storyline. Sometimes the singer would sing the chorus after the first verse, then omit it from the performance until after the final verse. An example of a chorus version was collected by Lucy Broadwood from Henry Burstow of Horsham in Sussex. Come on," said bold Johnson, "there are but two to me. And woman, you stand there behind, we'll gain the victory." As Johnson fought these rogues in front, the woman he did not mind. She took a knife all from his side and stabbed him from behind. With a high-ding-ding and a ho-ding-ding and a high-ding-ding high-day. May God keep all good people from such bad company. Now I must fall, says Johnson, I must fall unto the ground. For relieving this wicked woman, she gave me my death wound. Oh, woman, 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 what have you been and done? You've killed the finest butcher that ever the sun shone on. With a high-ding-ding and a ho-ding-ding and a high-ding-ding high-day. May God keep all good people from such bad company. Now just as she had done the deed, some men came riding by, and seeing what this woman had done, they raised a dreadful cry. She was condemned to die in links, an iron chain so strong. for the killing of bold Johnson, the great and valiant man. The names of the butchers also vary, with the exception of the brave Johnson, who retains his name throughout the variations. In the early broadside they were Kitson, Wilson and Johnson, and later variations include Ips, Gips and Johnson, to the more common and recent Gibson, Wilson and Johnson. The number of butchers vary from 3 to 2, and the robbers from 10 to 3. A story I will tell to you of jolly butchers 3. There was Wilson, Gibson, Johnston, 3 men of high degree. They've ta'en with them £900, intend to clear their way. So good fortune keep good people from bad women's company. Along the road, as fast as they could fly, till out then spoke brave Johnston, I hear a woman cry. Poor creature, she's in sore distress, for still she's crying on. With sword in hand, I will go and relieve her if I can. When they came to yonder green wood, they searched it round and round, till they found a naked woman, with her hair tied to the ground. It's out then spake brave Johnson, have you any company? Oh yes, kind sir, the robbers have sore abused me. It's Johnston, having a tender heart to all young women kind. He's taken his cloak and wrapped her up and set her on behind, saying, my dearest dear, you need not fear to go along with me, for if the robbers do come up, I will their butcher be. Then along the road, as fast as they could fly, till this base and wicked woman, she then began to cry. Then by there came 10 robbers, with broadswords in their hand, all coming up to Johnston, demanding him to stand. The tune and words were noted in August 1908 by James Duncan from William Wallace of Aberdeenshire. The ballad was very popular among the country singers throughout Britain and North America. The collectors from the Folk Song Society of the early 1900s found lots of samples in England. Gavin Gregg and James Duncan collected 13 variations in the north-east of Scotland. The song was well known in Ireland. The collectors in the 1950s recorded the ballad still being sung by travellers and country singers, and it's still a folk club favourite in the 21st century. I will end this podcast with a version of the song collected in August 1909 by Cecil Sharp from Shadrach Hayden in Bampton in Oxfordshire. It was of 2 jolly butchers, as I have heard 'em say. They started out of London, 'twas on a certain day. As they were riding along, as fast as they could ride, "Oh, stop your horse," says Johnson, "I heard some woman cry." "I will not stop," says Wilson, "I will not stop," says he. "I will not stop," says Wilson, "for robbed we shall be." Then Johnson he got off his horse and searched the woods all round, and there he found this woman with her hair pinned to the ground. "How came you here, dear woman? How came you here fast bound? How came you here stark naked, with your hair pinned to the ground?" "They robbed me, they stripped me, they left me here fast bound. They left me here stark naked, with me hair pinned to the ground." And Johnson, being a valiant man, a man of valiant mind, he wrapped his big coat round her and took her up behind. And as they were riding along, as fast as they could ride, she put her fingers in her ears and gave 3 dreadful cries. Then up and came 3 swaggering blades, the staves all in their hand, who then commanded Johnson, commanded him to stand. "I'll stop, I'll stand," says Johnson, "I'll stop and stand," says he, "for never was I in all my life afraid of any 3. One of them he quickly slew, the other he did not mind. Then this false woman she stepped up and stabbed him from behind. "I must fall," said Johnson, "I must fall onto the ground. It was this wicked woman that gave me my death wound, and she shall be hanged for the murder she has done. She's killed the finest butcher boy that ever the sun shone on.